guys, welcome back. It's John. We've managed to get ourselves down south of Albania into a nice little nook and cranny called Fish Farm Bay. Clearly after the events of Sarandhe and getting pulled onto the wreck and surviving that, we've moved down here to get some protection from the incoming weather systems that are coming over the next sort of 3 days. So in Fish Farm Bay now, you can see behind us some sort of buoys and fish farm nets, etc. in the bay. And it is really nice. There's also a nice little bar called Tongo Bar, which I'll show you around as well. But yeah, happy to be here. Some couple of days rest now before we have to move on.
So we've just anchored in a little fishing village, and it's got a little community with a beach bar, so we're going to go and have something to eat with them. And of course they're selling fresh fish, so it's really lovely. Yeah,
it's lovely, right little find. So we'll show you it right now. That's it there, that's the little fish bar. And there's the dinghy over there, and then comes right round the bay. Yeah, so we're anchored around that corner to the right. Then you come in by your dinghy. It's a nice little floating dock. And what's really nice about this place is, obviously they've got a fish farm over the back there in the water, but then they're cooking all their local fish in a real authentic way on burning driftwood and then putting it onto a barbecue grill, which is really cool. And the actual bar looks like this. A couple of solar panels, a couple of fridges, a bit of music, and then the bar under a desert style cam net on the beach. Pretty cool, eh? So this is almost this traditional way of doing barbecue, or if it was Argentinian it'd be an asada type thing where they're burning wood first in one pit and then they're moving it onto the barbecue and then cooking over the hot coals the dinner. So it's perfect, and there's a nice gentleman there cooking for us. Lovely. So you got sea bream, Sharon? Sea bream?
Yep, it's coming.
Yep.
Thank you.
Look at that, fresh. So the things we do for this dog, she has to have her walk a day, so we have to get the dinghy out, untie everything, quickly whip round to a beach somewhere, give her a walk so she enjoys it. She doesn't half get excited when she knows the dinghy lift is going down on the boat now. But yeah, blowing a bit tonight. Well, spectacular little beach. I think the dog's had a new lease of life since coming on the boat.
Nice beach.
Yeah, it is a very nice beach. Go shadow walk. Yeah. Now we're going to plane the dinghy.
Oh no. No, Dad.
Plane the dinghy.
No.
Plane the dinghy.
No, John.
There's the Pioneer over there. Good morning, everyone. Back to Fish Farm Cove or Fish Farm Bay. So this morning I need to stick Sharon up to the first set of spreaders to put on the courtesy flag line, which got tore off in the storm that we had up in Sarandhe. So I'll be sticking her on the bosun's chair in a minute and hoisting her up the mast. We're going straight up and down. Ready? And make sure you hold on the wire, because you need to come up on the inside of that wire, yeah? All right, Well, talk to me, Dale. Just push it through the top of the pulley, grab the other side and then pull it out. Got it?
Yeah.
Down then, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, coming down. Coming down?
Yeah. Let me get my feet.
Feet?
I've got a broken arm.
No, no. I'm just going to cover off a bit of anchoring on how we anchor on 2-3 Pioneer here, 42-foot Fontaine Panther Australia Catamaran, in regards to using ground tackle, what chain got, and then also talk about bridles, because they're a key part of the whole anchoring system. So I'm going to cover that off in some detail. So what I'm going to do is take you through on how we anchor on 23 Pioneer. And you know what sort of it consists of and how we work it out on how much chain we need to put down when anchoring. So the first thing I need to understand, or you to understand, is what I see. So on the helm we have a depth gauge, digital depth gauge, which is basically a transducer which pings a sound down to the bottom and bounces back up, and that reads the depth. So it give me a reading, for instance, in this example of 5 meters, and that is where the transducer is here, and it is pinging down to the seabed here and coming back up, and that's telling me that it's 5 meters. But what that doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that that is 5 meters from there to there, because I have instructed this gauge to take off a couple of measurements, which I will explain to you now. So one of them is I have told this gauge to minus 1.5 meters, which is my keel here. I've also told it to minus an extra meter here to give me a safety margin. So that 5 meters it's reading, it is telling me it is 5 meters from that point down to there. So what I need to do at all points when anchoring is first of all understand that I have told my gauge to minus 2.5 meters. So actually, if I wanted the depth from the seabed to the waterline, top of the waterline where the boat is, this would actually read 7.5 meters, and that will be the total depth of water. All right, so 7.5 meters is the depth of water. But the other consideration I need to take into account is what else have I got above the water that adds to the chain to get the anchor to the bottom. And basically, if the anchor is going to come off the top of the bowsprit on the bow roller, this distance here I also need to know, because when we're looking for the depth for anchoring, we need the total vertical length or vertical drop of the chain from start to the bottom. We need that exact distance. So say this is a meter as well from a bow roller. We now have 1.5, so that's 2.5, now 3 with the safety margin. So in total we have 3.5 meters, which I need to add every single time to 5 meters. So we've now got 8 meters, 8.5 meters. That is the actual depth, if you like, that we need to work our scope out on. And when I talk about scope, what I mean by that is how much chain we're going to lay out onto the seabed from the boat to hold us in position. So good rule of thumb is if it's an over lunchtime stop and you're sitting on boat just having a lunch, etc., 3 to 1 would probably be all right. So 3 to 1 would be 3 times 8.5 meters. If you're going to stop overnight in calm conditions, probably 5 to 1 is good enough. So if it'd be 5 times 0.85 meters, and if you've got heavier weather, you know, with a bit of swell, etc., and you're staying overnight, you want peace of mind, 7 to 1 would be a good one. So 7 times 8.5 meters. But if you're expecting stormy weather, big gusts, et.al., then and you've got room to swing, that means the boat being able to be blown around and around the anchor, then 10 to 1 would be looking pretty good. So in this instance, you'll be looking about 85 meters of chain put out. So if we know this now, then is 8.5, because our gauge is telling us we've got 5 meters, and we're going to go 3 to 1. We're basically going to put out 3 lots of that, so it's 8.5, and then we're going to put 8.5 and say another 8.5 to the anchor. So that's a 3 to 1 scope. And what this will make the chain do is lay on the bottom, and then it will start rising up to the top. This area here is called the catenary, and basically this acts like a big weighted metal spring in the water, and as the boat moves backwards and forwards, this will tighten, so it'll either come this way towards the anchor, or it will go looser and it will drop straight down and then come along the seabed. But the whole thing, what we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure we keep enough chain on the bottom here to be able to pull the anchor directly back, because anchors are designed to be pulled backwards so they set into the ground. And that's basically what we're looking at. So getting the scope right on all boats is absolutely key to make sure you get a sleepless, you know, be able to sleep at night and get some good rest. But like I say, it all depends on what your stay is. 3 to 1 for a lunchtime, 5 to 1 for overnight in calm, 7 to 1 for anything a bit gusty, a bit more tasty with swell, etc., and then 10 to 1 probably is your best bet if you've got heavy weather coming in, etc. But you've always got to bear in mind is how much swinging room you've got, because whilst the boat might be sat here and your anchor's there, you've got to make sure you've got the same clearance, this clearance, on the other side of the anchor on all sides, so you can swing round in a circle from the middle, boom boom boom, and you can swing round and you're not going to hit any rocks, coastline, go into the shallows, hit a reef, a wreck, or hit any other boat that might swing also into your area, and then you're both going to collide potentially. So lots of things to think about, but that's how we do it on 23 Pioneer. So my depth gauge, as I've already said, whatever it tells me, I know that I've got to add 2.5 meters to that immediately to get to the water line, and then I need to add another meter before I anchor to get to the bow roller at the top. So I hope that makes sense, and that's how we do it on 23 Pioneer. The other thing I want to touch on is the bridle system. So on 23 Pioneer we have a bridle system which attaches the both hulls to the chain when it's anchored. And the reason why we do this is obviously it's one, it takes the weight off the windlass, because the windlass isn't designed to hold the weight of the boat at anchor, certainly over any periods of time. But more importantly, the bridle acts as a bit of a shock absorber for when we're getting snatch, etc., in swell or high winds. So the way it works is you have 2 strong points on the boat, the bridle attaches to that, then the bridle goes forward and attaches to the chain. You then release a bit more chain, so the chain in this top picture is hanging slack. The bridle's got the full weight and joins the chain and then goes down to the anchor position. So you need to get that right also. So during that storm in Sarande, our bridle snapped, and I'll show you that now. So this is the bridle that come with 23 Pioneer, and as you can immediately see, one of the things to note is that it's made out of the wrong kind of material. that was on the boat. Really it should be 3-strand nylon that should be used. You'll also see that the shackle, snap shackle at the front, well undersized really for what the job it's supposed to do. So clearly during the storm that failed. So you know the shackle was still on the chain, but it has bent, and then I had to get some mole grips etc. to try and get it to release. But at the top end there where the knot is, you can see it just snapped clean off, because there would have been not a lot of stretch in that line, and the actual snatch from the storm would have just snapped it. So I've now ordered a mantis bridle set up, so that's going to come with 3-strand nylon, anti-chafe, 316 stainless bits and bobs on it to stop it corroding. And I've also ordered the Mantis M3 shackle, which is their newest shackle, which is a significant bit of kit which will hold the bridle to the chain, and that we should avoid any more snapping or dragging etc. in the future. So while I wait for the Mantis bridle, I've had to rig up a makeshift bridle in the meantime, pretty much out of the same material that you just seen, which is unfortunate. And then I've attached the chain by a Dyneema soft shackle through the chain loop. So I've got 10mm chain on the boat, so Dyneema soft shackle through there, and that is currently holding the boat in position as it should be.
Smell that fish barbecuing. Lovely smell, isn't it? How's the olives?
Elba, Albanian beer.
This fish is so lovely.
Right, come on. Get it on there.
Look at you licking your fingers.
Yeah, well come on, Dale, get on with it. It's going cold. Like, you haven't paid for it to go cold, have you, Dale? Right, so we're currently sailing up towards Sarande, ain't we, Sharon?
Yeah, we are.
We're going to go past Sarande, we're going to go to the west side into a bay, try and find a nook and cranny where we can anchor in there tonight. We're doing quite well sailing around, both sails up, got 10 knots of apparent wind, and we're doing 5.1 knots of speed. So yeah, all good. So currently got the sails up, moving back up north now, up towards Sarande. Then we're going to go past that, Sarande over in the distance. We're going to go past that over to the west and find ourselves a little bay over there to go and anchor in.
Just going past Corfu, you can see it over there opposite us. This is one of Albania's top resorts because of the beach is so nice here. Got the fishing rod line wrapped around the propeller now. It's one thing after another today. We're going to anchor here, but there's too many dangerous rocks.
So where I can, I like to jump in and dive the anchor just to make sure the anchor's set, so it gives us peace of mind if we're stopping overnight. Whilst anchored in Grava Bay, we were treated to a firework display, which was quite nice.
We have literally just got out of bed, got our coats on and made a run for it because there's a big storm coming again. Got your goggles ready?
Yeah, I've got my goggles ready.
Prepared this time at least. Oh, did you see that? The first strike. Till the rain coming down. We're just going to get out of this bay and ride the storm. We've literally just grabbed our coats and pulled the anchor up.
So I can't switch all the instruments off.
Bugged out of bed this morning, didn't we, Johnny?
Yep.
And now we've found this really nice little spot. We're by a castle today, so that should be really nice. Hopefully we can get off the boat and have a little look round. To move again. It's just too choppy here. We're like swinging from side to side. It's horrible. It's because of the way the waves are coming in. So the waves are coming across us like this, which is making it really uncomfortable on board.
But you know, like you can see from the hill, can't you? Yeah? That's how deep it is. Like, that doesn't just stop at the water, it comes all the way down into the water dome.
Yeah.
So look at the gradient, it's the same gradient all the way down.
Yeah. Front of an old submarine base today.
This was short-lived as the security team come straight over and moved us off from what we thought would be the perfect anchorage.
It's hanging, yeah. Still hanging, it's got all seaweed on it.
We'll go down there.
Yeah, well he's down there, let's have a look. And then if it's no good, we'll go over the other corner. Quite calm on the sea this morning, which is nice, makes a nice change. So John's just took the dog for a little walk because we're going to go on a really long passage today and try to make it to the marina because it's no good here, rolly all night. Here they are.
So morning crew, we're on the move again. The reason why that is Albania doesn't provide you much protection on the west side of its coast, and for the last few nights we've been getting beaten up by the swell, etc. being rocked about all over the place. So we thought it'd be best if we make our way north now, 36 miles or so, and get ourselves into Vlore Bay and see if we can find some protection in there from the west coast side of Albania. So we had a nice night last night in Himenair, which was really nice. You know, that was nice and calm once the swell died down. But this is for the better, isn't it, though? Get out of the swell. Because both been, well, I have been feeling particularly green when sat there bobbing around, moving up and down.
Well, you were actually sick last night.
Yeah, and I was actually sick yesterday, but I'm not sure that's whether from the swell or something else, like a dodgy kebab.
Yeah, not my cooking.
So just behind me is Himenair, that's where we've left from. Really nice, spectacular beaches over there. Clear blue water, pebbly beach, you know, with sand, etc. Yeah, so really nice. I can understand why people come on holiday down here, because the beaches are particularly nice. And modern looking hotels, but more importantly, the food and the drink is pretty cheap. It's like 300 lek for a beer, probably about £2.80, something like that. So you know, a lot cheaper than London town, that's for sure. So yeah, Albania's got a very, very nice coastline if you're looking for a cheap seaside holiday. Dramatic gorge over there. There's a road that goes up that hill. I don't know whether you can see it on the camera, but switchbacks going all the way up to the top of that mountain.
Great for people that like biking.
Yeah. Bit windy, is it?
Well, I'm holding on to the hut, so yeah, it is a bit windy. Coming up to the peninsula, that's why it's so windy. Pretty cool. The moon coming up over the mountain. So we've arrived in Oricom Bay near Vlore in Albania. But one of the issues we've had since being in Albania is being able to provision the boat correctly, because since we've left Sarande, the coastline is pretty deep and rugged and not a lot of supermarkets, etc. So as an emergency stop to get some drinking water, etc., the other day we managed to get the dinghy onto a beach, but obviously there was breaking waves onto the beach and that, and a bit dangerous. Sharon had to stay with the dinghy while I went to the shop and got some water. But now we're in Oricom Bay, that's where the marina is. We've got permission from the marina to come in on the dinghy, keep the dinghy safe, and then we're going to go and fully provision the boat as best we can, because we don't know when between here and Durrës, etc., when we might be able to get some more provisions. So it's key that we do it now. So those that cruise in Albania, just be aware that provisioning the boat isn't as easy as Greece, for example, that's set up for sailors. So we found the butchers in Oricom, so we get some fresh meat to put on the boat now. So that's handy, but it's taken us about 25 minutes to walk here. We've got the cool bags, so all good. Okay, so we got back to the boat and we just managed to get the provisions back on board before it started blowing as we were walking back. So it's about 1.5 km, but as we started walking back I noticed the wind getting up. Bearing in mind all the apps have forecast no wind for today. And then we've got back to the boat, just got everything on board, and then bang, in come the gusts, 25 up to 30 knot gusts, sustained gusts that are not forecast, boat bouncing around everywhere. So had we come back in that, we wouldn't have been able to get back on board with the dinghy, I wouldn't have thought, because the chop at the back of the boat was just too much. But we're back on board now, and I managed to get myself some
beer Moretti's, nice and cheap in Albania, about £1.40 a can. So happy with that. So I'm just sitting there chilling out now. So that ends another week on Sailing Clewless Crew. Hope you've enjoyed, everyone. We're treating ourselves now to the famous pork chop and sausage barbecue. So that's the end of this week. If you like the content, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, and more importantly, if you want to follow along, please subscribe. It's free to do so. And we'll see you next week. All the best. So that ends another. Shav, get your hand off the microphone, Dove.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we're sitting in. Can you start again?
No, it's recording.
I didn't realise.